It's gonna snow. I can feel it. All right, gang, I'm heading out to the cinema this incredibly gloomy afternoon. Check out the new science fiction slash romance slash drama slash thriller slash any other moniker you want to throw in there. Passengers.
There's a reason we woke up early.
Now, sarcasm aside, I'm a big science fiction buff. I, in particular, like films about deep space exploration. I also like science fiction films about space exploration that also deal with human isolation. Like Kubrick's 2001 comes to mind. Also, incredibly underrated film, Silent Running by Douglas Trumbull. Great film about human isolation in outer space. And then there's recent examples like Moon from Duncan Jones. Terrific film. I guess space I just find utterly fascinating and also terrifying because we all remember what one very famous bad guy said about space.
It is very cold in space.
Also, this film is from a Norwegian director whose name I know I'm going to butcher, so I'm not even going to mention it. He directed the Benedict Cumberbatch World War II drama, The Imitation Game, from a few years back. More importantly, he directed this impeccably well-crafted Hitchcockian thriller called Headhunters, which, if you have never seen it, you owe it to yourself to check it out. It is mesmerizing. Passengers also has the Pratt and the Lawrence.
Hello.
What's truly frightening about this film is Pratt and Lawrence are disgustingly good-looking human beings.
Wow.
Damn it! Damn it! So anyway, I'm gonna go check this out. I'll be back with a review. Alright, gang, I just got out of Passengers. Oh my god, this is a really endlessly fascinating film. A much more fascinating film than even its very deceptive marketing campaign has led on.
You two look fine this evening.
We're on a date.
Very nice.
Took you long enough to ask.
I'm going to have to go into heavy spoilers to talk about this film, so you've been warned. Shh, spoilers! I think this film poses a fascinating ethical question. First question is this. If you were stranded on a desert island and you could do something to ensure that you would spend the rest of your natural life on this desert island with Jennifer Lawrence, would you do it? Duh, yeah. But, other question, if you knew this was going to wreck Jennifer Lawrence's life, would you still do it?
This can't be happening.
Okay, so, I mean, if you've seen the trailer for Passengers, here's the basic crutch of the story. So it is a film set in the deep future. Is about this ginormous space vessel that is journeying off to this distant, remote Earth colony on a planet called Homestead 2.
We boarded the Avalon with a destination. 120 years hibernation means we'll wake up in a new century on a new planet. But a year ago, everything changed.
And unfortunately, there is a malfunction that occurs that basically wakes up Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence out of hibernation.
Hello? Anybody here?
Hello?
To disgustingly good-looking human beings. Damn it! Damn it!
Do you know what's going on? Nobody else is awake.
I think something went wrong with the hibernation pods.
And then the ship malfunctions and shit gets real. That is the story that's outlined in the trailer, but this film is not really like that at all.
Bullshit!
This is what the film is about. It's also about a ship going to a distant Earth colony on Homestead 2. It's a journey that's going to take well over 100 years, and a malfunction occurs on the ship that wakes up Chris Pratt's life pod. And his pod only. So Chris Pratt tries to deal with the fact that, oh my god, I'm going to spend the rest of my natural life all alone on this ship.
It's very cold in space.
First 30 minutes of this film, arguably the most enthralling 30 minutes in this film, deals with Pratt's character trying to come to grips with the startling inevitability of his solitude aboard this ship, which, by the way, also houses thousands upon thousands of other lives that are all still in hibernated sleep that are scheduled to be awoken in 90 plus years. So he comes across a pod which has J-Law's character in it, and he starts to access data banks, and he kind of starts to fall for this girl. So then he ponders, man, I can't spend the rest of my life alone on this ship because I will go crazy.
It is very cold.
And I need someone else to spend my time with. He agonizes over whether or not he should go out of his way to wake her up. And of course, there wouldn't be a movie if he didn't wake her up. So she does indeed wake up, but he pretends like she was woken up because of a malfunction. So he sells that lie to Jennifer Lawrence's character. And then this budding romance begins to happen between the pair. And then, of course, the ship malfunctions and shit gets real. The marketing campaign of this film couldn't have been any more dishonest. Now, this reminded me a lot of Collateral Beauty, a film that I just recently reviewed that I absolutely despise, because that marketing campaign and then the resulting film played a real frustrating game of bait and switch. However, the game of bait and switch that Passengers played with me, much more tolerable, because I ended up finding the film that I saw, again, endlessly more compelling than the trailers even remotely led on.
We woke up too soon. 90 years too soon.
This can't be happening. We have to go back to sleep.
We can't.
I think the whole film is based on the whole, again, ethical quandary that Chris Pratt's character finds himself in. I mean, I don't think he's really an evil man. He certainly could be labeled as a selfish human being for doing what he did, because he essentially has destroyed J-Law's character's life in the process.
What do we do now?
Do you trust me?
Nevertheless, you can certainly empathize with his actions. So there's certainly a lot of thematic layers that are going on here in Passengers that made it really watchable for me. And Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence, two disgustingly good-looking human beings. Damn it! Damn it! Were really good together. I think they made a very effective on-screen couple. I like how the film sort of details what these people do on this ship. And this ship is not really a scientific vessel. Think of it as like this big, gigantic luxury cruise line ship in space. Anything you want to do, you can do on this ship. If you want to go to a bar and have a drink, you can. Michael Sheen also shows up as this robotic bartender that...
To look fine this evening?
We're on a date.
Very nice.
Took you long enough to ask.
That scores some of the film's better underplayed laughs. So I really liked his presence in the film. I really like what they did with the ship's interiors, and I think it was very creative and innovative. And I don't know where to start. I also like the way the ship looked. It didn't look like a million other ships that we've seen in so many other countless space voyage films before. So I would say, though, that sometimes the special effects sequences kind of betrayed themselves. I think there are moments in the film, for example, where the artificial gravity in the ship shuts off, and so I don't think a lot of the shots of the characters floating in the space in the ship, or when they go outside of the ship in their space suits, come across as very authentic gravity. This film is not.
No! You die, I die!
By the way, this film's rated PG-13, but we get 2 shots featuring some Chris Pratt nudity. You know what? No Jennifer Lawrence nudity in this movie, so
It's bullshit.
I call double standard movie star nudity bullshit on that.
It's all bullshit.
But then, that's kind of nitpicking, because I think my biggest problem with Passengers is its final third act, and it really squanders any opportunities to really build on the strong foundation of what occurred in the first 60 minutes, and the way that this film wrapped itself up with a nice, neat, convenient bow at the end really rang false to me.
We're stranded on a sinking ship.
The controls, the engines, it's all designed to keep us out.
There has to be a way.
It almost kind of came off as a film that was really maybe butchered in the editing room. It just feels like the final sections of the film feel really rushed. I mean, ultimately, Passengers, not at all as advertised. That's kind of a welcome relief. But it is a film that I like to refer to as a PWP film. And many years ago, I came up with the acronym PWP to define a film that suffers from having a premise without a payoff. And there is a really strong premise at the core of Passengers that unfortunately the writers don't find a way of exploiting and carrying forward to successful fruition. And then it just completely lost me in its final sections, and that's kind of a shame, because as far as like space exploration and sci-fi films go, this had a lot of potential that unfortunately was untapped. Damn it! Damn it! So there you go, there is my review of Passengers. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of the film if you saw it, and thank you very much for watching. If you could like this video, I'd really appreciate it. If you could subscribe to my channel, that would mean the world to me. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you at the movies.